Is anyone interested in participating in the performance? It's very easy, very straightforward. Anyone interested? Just like we were doing in Europe, where we say a chant, and then a group says the chant, and then take the instruments together, or take the block of wood together. We're going to do that. Anyone interested? Yes, okay. Get ready and play.
You're kind of not seeing that.
What? I'm gonna move there.
Okay, all the volunteers, anybody interested in performing? Anybody interested in participating in the performance? Head towards the step.
Where's the Ukrainian flag?
What?
That flag is
You wanna hold it?
no.
I'm gonna find someone to hold it.
No, it's fine.
Anyone interested in the performance?
Why doesn't it turn on? There's nothing else to hold this.
Yeah, it has to be the whole time.
We need a couple more people who are going to be interested in participating in the performance, and you can walk towards the stairs. A couple more people.
Do you want to use this? Okay, so can you just go around and take some footage of the people, just everything? Just record. And if it doesn't work, just it is. Do you see if it's starting? ایرانیان فیلادلفیا در حال تمرین پرفورمنس نمایشی در روبروی موزه آرت فیلادلفیا. سپه
migrate inward. My name is Martin Tarakuli. We are part of Philly, Iran, and we've all gathered here today in memory of Ukraine's international flight PS-752, which was struck by the Islamic Republic 3 years ago and killed 176 individuals. And I was specifically asked to speak about the executions that have been taking place by the Islamic Republic. And honestly, I don't really know what to say. What do you say about two 23-year-old men, Mohsen Shekhari and Majid Reza Rahnavard, who were executed for waging wars against God? What do you say about Mohammad Mehdi Karami, who was a 22-year-old karate champion who had won multiple national awards, whose dream was to become an Olympic star? What do I say about the parents and the loved ones who are standing outside the prison door, who are waiting to say goodbye, and who were told to leave because the executions were a hoax, just as their son was being executed? What do I say about the 39-year-old Mohammad Hosseini, whose parents died when he was 15 years old, and where no one came to receive his corpse after he was executed? Because the regime said that only immediate family members are allowed to receive the body. His parents were gone, and his brother has gone missing. I have been in touch with one of Mohammad Mehdi Karami's friends and his coach, and he's been telling me what a wonderful human being he was, and about how dedicated he was to his sport, martial arts, and about how devastated they've been by his loss, by his execution, just as we all have been. And while Mohammad Mehdi Karami is gone, his words will never be forgotten. Dad, I received the verdict. It's execution. Please don't tell them all. Many of you are probably wondering, well, why say their names when saying their names don't save their lives? Why seek political sponsorship when they're still executing them? And my answer to you is this. The regime is trying to play mental games with us. They're trying to play mental tricks. They're trying to test our mental capacity and capability to continue pushing forward. And they're testing the international community's response to their execution of individuals who had political sponsorships. And so while we are devastated, while we are exhausted, while we are emotionally drained, it is absolutely critical to maintain our momentum, to continue hashtagging their names, to continue amplifying their voices, to continue reaching out to our politicians, to continue getting the international community involved, and to ask our politicians one specific question. What actions are you going to take in response to the execution of those who have political sponsorship? We need to show the regime that we are going to keep going until our people are free, that we are going to keep going until they fall. You see, they're committing these crimes. They're killing innocent people not to show their strength. They're doing it out of fear because they know the end is near. So please, continue going. Continue hashtagging. Continue amplifying their voices. Continue reaching out to politicians. Continue getting the international community involved. Because with our unity, with the unity of the Iranians, with the unity of our allies, with the unity of the world, we are going to win this. We will prevail.
Yeah!
And on one last note, if you haven't been hashtagging their names, please start. And if you have, please continue. Specifically the names of Mohammad Ghobalu and Mohammad Borzani, who are at imminent risk of being executed at any moment, and Armita Abbas Abbasi, whose sham trial is scheduled for January 26th. زنده باد ایران.
زنده باد ایران. زن زندگی آزادی. زن زندگی آزادی.
Freedom for Iran!
Freedom for Iran.
Freedom for Iran!
Freedom for Iran.
Freedom for Iran!
Freedom for Iran.
We won't forgive, we won't forget!
We won't forgive, we won't forget.
We won't forget! We won't forgive, we won't forget!
We won't forgive, we won't forget.
Please, everybody in the crowd, get involved. Ready? We won't forgive, we won't forget!
We won't forgive, we won't forget.
Woman life, freedom!
Woman life, freedom.
Woman life, freedom!
Woman life, freedom.
Woman life, freedom!
Woman life, freedom.
Stop the execution!
Stop the executions.
Stop the execution!
Stop the executions.
Stop the execution!
Stop the executions.
Justice for PS 752!
Justice for PS 752.
Justice for PS 752!
Justice for PS 752.
Justice for PS 752!
Justice for PS 752.
Democracy for Iran!
Democracy for Iran.
Democracy for Iran!
Democracy for Iran.
Democracy for Iran!
Democracy for Iran.
Freedom for Iran!
Freedom for Iran.
Freedom for Iran!
Freedom for Iran.
Freedom for Iran!
Freedom for Iran.
We won't forgive, we won't forget!
We won't forgive, we won't forget.
We won't forgive, we won't forget!
We won't forgive, we won't forget.
We won't forgive, we won't forget!
We won't forgive, we won't forget.
Justice for PS 752!
Justice for PS 752.
Justice for PS 752!
Justice for PS 752.
Justice for PS 752!
Justice for PS 752.
What do you want? Freedom! When do you want it? Now! What do you want?
Freedom.
When do you want it?
Now.
What do you want?
Freedom.
When do you want it?
Now.
What do you want?
Freedom.
When do you want it?
Now.
Freedom for Iran!
Freedom for Iran.
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 Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These child killers have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These child killers have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These child killers have got to go! One solution, revolution! One solution, revolution! One solution, revolution!
One solution, revolution.
One solution, revolution!
One solution, revolution.
One solution, revolution!
One solution, revolution.
Democracy for Iran!
Democracy for Iran.
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 Say her name!
Masa Amini.
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 We're gonna change it up this time. I say her name, you say Armita Abbasi. Ready?
Yes.
Say her name!
Armita Abbasi.
Say her name!
Armita Abbasi. Abbasi!
Say her name!
Armita 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 Abbasi!
Azadi, azadi, azadi!
Azadi, azadi, azadi!
Baby, azadi, azadi, azadi!
Azadi, azadi, azadi!
Baby, azadi, azadi, azadi!
Azadi, azadi, azadi! Azadi, azadi, azadi! Azadi, azadi, azadi!
Tutan peş peşe, akıl bayan gül meşe!
Tutan peş peşe, akıl bayan gol meşe!
Tutan peş peşe, akıl bayan gül meşe!
Tutan peş peşe, akıl bayan gol meşe!
Her nefer koş deşe, hezar nefer koş deşe!
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 Down with comedy!
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 Down with the dictator!
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 Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Islamic regime must go!
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 Woman life freedom!
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 Woman life freedom! Zindagi azadi! Zindagi azadi! Zindagi azadi! Zindagi azadi! Zindagi azadi!
Woman life freedom!
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 Down with comedy!
Down with comedy!
Down with the dictator!
Down with the dictator!
Down with comedy!
Down with comedy!
Down with the dictator!
Down with the dictator!
Say her name!
So Amini!
Say her name! Armita Abbasi! Say her name!
Armita Abbasi!
Say her name!
Armita Abbasi!
Say her name!
Armita Abbasi!
Say her name!
Armita Abbasi!
I'm gonna ask you to say his name! Muhammad Karami. Ready? Say his name!
Muhammad Karami!
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 Muhammad Hosseini. Say his name!
Muhammad Hosseini!
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 Muhammad Qurbani. Say his name!
Muhammad Qurbani!
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 Say his name!
محمد قربانی
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 Muhammad Qurbani. Say his name!
محمد قبادو
Say his name!
محمد قبادو
Say his name!
محمد قبادو
Say his name!
محمد قبادو زن زندگی آزادی زن زندگی آزادی زن زندگی آزادی زن زندگی آزادی توپ تانک فرش بشه آخون باید گم بشه توپ تانک فرش بشه آخون باید گم بشه
When do we want it?
راه
When do we want?
freedom
When do we want it?
now
What do we want?
freedom
When do we want it?
now
What do we want?
freedom
When do we want it?
now
One solution, revolution.
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 Hey, hey, ho, ho. Islamic regime must go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Islamic people must go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Islamic regime must go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. Islamic people must go.
Say her name. Say her name.
Mahsa Amini.
Say her name.
Mahsa Amini.
Say her name.
Mahsa Amini.
Amita Abbasi. Say her name.
Amita Abbasi.
Say her name.
Amita Abbasi.
Say her name.
Amita Abbasi.
Say her name.
Amita Abbasi.
Muhammad Karami. Say his name.
Muhammad Karami.
Say his name.
Muhammad Karami.
Say his name.
Muhammad Karami.
Say his name.
Muhammad Karami.
Say his name.
Muhammad Karami.
Say his name.
Muhammad Karami.
Say his name.
Muhammad Karami.
Muhammad Kobalu. Say his name.
Muhammad Kobalu.
Say his name.
Muhammad Kobalu.
Say his name.
Muhammad Kobalu.
Say his name.
Muhammad Kobalu.
Muhammad Burgani. Say his name.
Muhammad Korbani.
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 Azadi, azadi, azadi.
بگو آزادی آزادی آزادی
بگو
آزادی آزادی آزادی
بگو
آزادی آزادی آزادی
بگو
آزادی آزادی آزادی
بگو
آزادی آزادی آزادی
بگو
آزادی آزادی آزادی
بگو
آزادی آزادی آزادی
این آخرین پیام هدف کل نظامه.
این آخرین پیامه هدف کل نظامه
این آخرین پیام هدف کل نظامه.
این آخرین پیام هدف کل نظامه
از شلیک و تهران جانم فدای ایران.
از شلیک و تهران جانم فدای ایران
از شلیک و تهران جانم فدای ایران.
از شلیک و تهران جانم فدای ایران
جان جان آزادی.
جان جان آزادی
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 That's yours? Yeah, I no, okay, I scratched off the name by accident. Am I able to pick it up? Okay.
محسن شکاری. Say his name.
محسن شکاری
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 رهنورد. Say his name.
راهنورد
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 محسن شکاری. Say his name.
محسن شکاری
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 رهنورد. Say his name.
راهنورد
Say his name.
راهنورد
Say his name.
راهنورد
Say his name.
راهنورد
Mohammed Hosseini. Say his name.
محمد حسینی
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 Muhammad Karami. Say his name.
محمد کرمی
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 Umar Salehi. Say his name.
توماش صالحی
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 توتان فش بشه. آخون باید گم بشه.
توپتان فش بشه آخوند باید گم بشه
Down with Khamenei.
Down with Khamenei
Down with the dictator.
Down with the dictator
Down with Khamenei.
Down with Khamenei
Down with the dictator.
Down with the dictator
Sahand Nouri. Say his name.
Sahand Nouri
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 Say his name.
Sahand
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Islamic regime has got to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho! Islamic regime has got to go!
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Islamic regime has got to go!
Hey, ho, ho! Islamic regime has got to go!
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These child killers have got to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho! These child killers have got to go!
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These child killers have got to go!
Hey, ho, ho! These child killers must go!
We won't forget! We won't forget!
We won't forgive, we won't forget!
We won't forget! We won't forget!
We won't forgive, we won't forget!
We won't forget! We won't forget!
We won't forgive, we won't forget!
We won't forget! We won't forget!
We won't forgive, we won't forget!
What do you want?
Freedom!
When do you want it?
Now!
What do you want?
Freedom!
When do you want it?
Now!
What do you want?
Freedom!
When do you want it?
Now!
What do you want?
Freedom!
When do you want it?
Now!
Down with Khomeini!
Down with Khomeini!
Down with dictator!
Down with dictator!
Down with Khomeini!
Down with Khomeini!
Down with the dictator!
Down with the dictator!
Woman life freedom!
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 Zindagi azadi!
Zindagi azadi!
Zindagi azadi!
Zindagi azadi!
Zindagi azadi! Zindagi azadi! I'm gonna have somebody. Dr. Shafsat Shabs is going to come and read a statement from the Flight Association. And make some noise for her. Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. 3 years ago, on a day like today, Iranians woke up to a horrific news of downing PS-752 flight, passengers on the flight, and the crew on board and onboard child were killed. For 3 days, the Iranian government denied the truth and lied to millions of Iranians and the families of the victims. First, they claimed that it was a technical issue, and after 3 days, they had to confess to a heinous crime of downing the flight with 2 missiles. For the past, and using the passengers as a human shield. The past 3 years has been a devastating and unbearable journey for the families of the victims. We are here today in solidarity with the families of the victims and their association, who have been also amplifying in the most eloquent way the voice of millions of Iranians inside Iran who are risking their lives, putting their lives on the line in the past 4 months for their human dignity and basic freedom. Over 500, nearly 600 actually at this point, innocent protesters. Among them, more than 60 children have been killed, raped, and over 19,000 people remain behind bars, facing sham trials. Over 40 of them face executed after sham trials without having access to legal aid, to lawyers. They have been denied to see their families, to say goodbye. Their mothers were informed after they were buried. They did not even have the chance to see the dead bodies of their children. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
This happened in front of our eyes. For the past 4 months, Iranians in all corners of the world have been waking up, watching the videos of weeping mothers, sisters, fathers on the grave of their children. And you know what? We're not going to stop. For 115 days, we have been coming out. These students that you see up here, with zero organizational support, completely grassroots. Thanks to your generous contributions and your presence, they've been coming out to echo the voice of those Iranians inside the country who are going to the streets with empty hands and get killed. These days, I think we don't need to go too far in order to find words, in order to say something. All we need to do, and all you need to do, those of you non-Iranians here, all you need to do is to go around and just read the news and tell people around you what's happening in Iran. Just tell them what's happening. Just tell them what I told you right now. Call your representatives, your senators. Go on their websites. It's very easy. Write to them. Ask them to hold this terrorist regime accountable. Otherwise, they're coming after every single one of us. I promise you that. If you stay silent, if you don't do anything, these terrorists first will kill the innocent people of Iran, and then they will go after every single Iranian dissident, as they have been, by the way, over the past 4 months. Sending death threats, intimidating our families inside the country.
Ukrainian!
Yes, absolutely. And I appreciate that you're holding the Ukrainian flag here. Let me say a couple of words about that too. We are fighting in Ukraine and in Iran. We are fighting a common enemy. Our cause is the same cause. The terrorist regime in Iran is sending drones while millions of Iranians are starving to death, don't have electricity, don't have access to clean water in Sistan and Balochistan, in Kurdistan, in Khuzestan. Just 2 years ago, they shut down the internet in Iran for a week, and they killed over 1,500 protesters. We are still trying to identify them. And they're sending drones to Russia to kill innocent Ukrainians. You think they're not going to do the same about American citizens, Canadian citizens, French citizens? They will. fighting for justice. This is a George Floyd moment in Iran. The 22-year-old Iranian Kurdish woman, her face is there. She was killed for just showing this much hair. Not even this much hair. And in order to prove that they didn't kill her, they have killed more than 600 people so far. This fight is the fight of Iranian women to reclaim authority over their bodies. We are sick and tired of being told how to dress. We are sick and tired of having two lives and two faces every day. Our fight is the fight of feminists and women activists in the United States of America. LGBTQ community. All the marginalized bodies around the world. We stand in solidarity with all of them, and we call on them to stand in solidarity with us, Iranian women. We need you more than ever. You're fighting for your rights here, for the right for abortion, for housing, justice for the black community here, against gentrification, gender equality. These are all shared cause struggles, guys. If we don't unite today against the oppressive powers around the world, they will destroy our lives. I remember just a couple of years ago, there was after George Floyd was brutally murdered under the knee of the Minneapolis officer. Do you remember, those of you from Philadelphia, what we did? We brought down the statue of the murderer of the African American people in Philadelphia. And I'm proud to be an Iranian Philadelphian. And I'm proud to see every single one of you here. I want us to stay united. I urge every single Iranian in this community to reach out to African American community, to reach out to LGBTQ community, to the feminists, to women activists. I'm going to read the statement of the Association of the Families of Flight PS752, which is going to be read in more than 100 cities around the world today. Justice prevails. On the dawn of January 2020, only a few hours after the Islamic Republic launched rocket attacks on the seemingly empty American military base in Iraq, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps murdered 176 innocent passengers and an unborn child aboard Ukrainian flight PS752. At least 2 missiles were fired at the passenger aircraft. The plane crashed 3 minutes and 42 seconds after the first missile struck, bringing unimaginable terror and suffering to the passengers and crew during those last moments. That day, the Islamic Republic's Supreme National Security Council, that is under the direct command of their leader, kept the Iranian airspace open to create a human shield in case of an escalation and counterattacks by the United States. They sacrificed civilian a passenger airplane to save themselves. Shortly after the attacks, anti-aircraft units were stationed near the airport that were used to shoot down the airplane. Although they knew what they had done, state media was boasting about their attacks on the American military base without any mention of the crime that was committed. Bulldozers were dispatched immediately after the crime. All of the passengers' belongings were stolen, and the bulldozers grazed over the victims' remains and shattered aircraft parts. All personal devices, such as cell phones, were either tampered or destroyed. Meanwhile, they were lying to the wall based on false claims that technical failure was the reason for the crash. 177 sealed coffins covered in the Islamic Republic flag were delivered without proper forensic investigations, and it was later revealed that even the DNA tests were improper. 3 years have passed. During these unbearable years, the Association of the Families of Victims was formed that represents the families of 142 victims. So far, the association has led an arduous campaign for justice until the governments of 4 affected countries, Ukraine, Canada, the United Kingdom, and Sweden, decided to commence the process of taking the Islamic Republic regime to the International Court of Justice for the international criminal responsibility of individuals who played a part in the crime. 3 years have passed, and on the 3rd year of this crime, the cries for freedom and justice by the Iranian people resonate throughout the world. The Association of the Victims' Families joined the revolution as it considers the murder of their loved ones as another link in the chain of crimes committed by the Islamic Republic regime over the past 44 years of corruption and murder. We are part of the Women, Life, Freedom Revolution. We are confident that the efforts of those who fight for freedom and justice will prevail. Yes! In a not too distant future, with the collapse of the Islamic Republic regime, and free and just tribunals throughout Iran will investigate all crimes committed by that regime. The association's demands resonate with those of Iranians throughout the world. 1. We ask the governments of the free world to stop negotiations with the Islamic Republic and to withdraw their ambassadors in protest. 2. We ask the governments of the free world to increase pressures on the Islamic Republic to seize all executions and compel them to free all political prisoners. 3. We ask the governments of the free world to expel all of the Islamic Republic oligarchs from their countries and implement the same policies that were adopted against those associated with Putin.
Yes.
We ask the governments of the free world to once and for all put the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps on the list of terrorist groups.
Yes.
The Iranian Revolution is alive and lives and lives until victory. The end of this nightmare is near, and the key to success is in unity and organization. Soon a day will come, soon a day will break in a world without the Islamic Republic. We will never forget. We will never forget the crimes of the Islamic Republic, nor shall we ever forgive. Justice for PS 752!
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 IRGC murderers, call them terrorists!
IRGC murderers, call them terrorists!
IRGC of the two executions that happened yesterday, Mohammadi and Mohammed Hussein. We woke up to the very disturbing footages of Mohammad Mehdi Karami's parents weeping on his grave, and also seeing that Mohammad Hosseini didn't even have anyone to actually light the candle on his grave. So Mohammad Mehdi Karami's parents also visited his grave and lit a candle there too. But as Hamed Esmailion, the spokesperson of the Association of the Flight, has told the world, the Iranians, سوگواری نکن، سازماندهی کن. We do not have time to mourn. We need to mobilize. Thank you. I just wanted to add something very brief to that wonderful huge statement. We keep talking about the 400 plus and then the 500 plus individuals who've been killed. And at first it was the 60 plus children and then the 69 plus children who've been killed. I think it's really important for people to understand or to realize how significantly these numbers are underestimating the actual death pool. People are being killed, children are being killed, and their family members are being threatened. They're being told not to speak up, so we're not hearing about those deaths. There was a 14-year-old girl at this point 2 weeks ago who was raped and murdered, and her mother spoke up about it. She got abducted and we haven't heard from her since. We're talking about these executions, the executions of these 4 young men over the past couple of weeks. But what we're not talking about is the silent executions that have been taking place for over 43 years, and they're still continuing. On my Instagram page from time to time, I found images of these people who are actively being executed, and I posted them because their lives count too, their lives matter. But we're not talking about it. And then the prisoners who are being released, very few of them have been released, but when they've been released, they've been dying miraculously within 48 hours. And for a while we were scratching our heads saying, well, why are they dying? The regime kept saying that they were committing suicide. We learned that they're overdosing them with drugs, they go back home and then they die. And these aren't being counted in the official death toll. They're being counted as suicides. So the actual death toll is significantly higher. And there are some people who think, well, only 500 plus people have been killed. At least the rest of them are safe in prison. There are 19,000 plus individuals currently in prison. They They are actively being tortured. They are actively being raped day and night, regardless of whether they're men, regardless of whether they're women. They are not safe. And we already know that they're all waiting to hear about the day that they're going to end up going to court for a sham trial for the risk of being executed. I really want you all to understand the gravity of the situation and the fact that the internet restrictions have been a huge problem for us. For the first couple of months, we kept getting footage, we kept getting footage. All of a sudden, over the past 6 weeks, everything kind of went silent. We've received random messages saying that there are massacres happening, but we've stopped seeing the footage, we stopped getting the videos, we stopped getting the content. So we know that the murders are ongoing, but we're not hearing about it because of the internet restrictions. And as mentioned earlier, the last time this happened, we refer to it as Bloody Avon. Within the course of a week, 1,500 people got killed, and we didn't realize it until after the fact. Because our eyes weren't on Iran, we couldn't see what was happening. Last but not least, I really want to emphasize the fact that this is not just a fight for the Iranians. It is a fight for Iran, but it's actually a fight for all the oppressed people in the world. Okay? If Iranians win this, if they win this revolution, they want it for the world. When Afghanistan, the Taliban, rid the women of their rights to education, the Afghani women started pouring into the streets, saying the Iranian chants, we are together, we're going to win this.
Yes.
This is a fight for all of us.
Yes.
It's a fight for the Ukrainians. That are being supported by the Islamic Republic. It's for the entire region that is being funded, the terrorism that's being funded by the Islamic Republic.
Yes.
Even if you don't care about human rights, women's rights, children's rights, if you care about your tax dollars here in the States, you should care about this. Because America's fighting against the terrorism that's going on in the region. That money can be funding our education here. It can be funding homelessness. It can be funding so many other things. But they keep fighting the wars that the Islamic Republic is running in that region. This is a fight for human rights all around the world. So please stand with us. If you know people who aren't standing with us, talk to them. Mohsen Shekari, say his name.
محسن شکاری
Rahnavard, say his name.
رهنورد
Say his name.
رهنورد
Say his name.
رهنورد
Say his name.
رهنورد